Hi everyone and welcome to this week's tech tip. So today we are going to take a look at how we can apply smart tags to our elevation view when we generate shop drawings. So the first thing you want to do is just check if you do have your smart tags loaded in your project. So we're gonna come here to annotate. You can click here to loaded tags and symbols just to check what you have already loaded in your project. For the MWF members, so your structural members of your panel, they will basically just be either structural columns or structural framing. So that's the category that the family is. So that's what you are looking for when you are loading your smart tags. So you do have to have the smart tags for your structural framing. So let's search for that one. So it is here. We already have it loaded in. And the other one will be the structural column. So here I have my structural columns and I do have also a smart tag loaded in my file. If you click here in the drop down, you're going to see all the options that you have available in that project. So you can have more than one. So now that I know that I do have my smart tags in my file, I can come here to my drawings manager. And I'm just going to double click here in my settings. I've just created some default shop drawing settings. And we're gonna come here to our framing elevation view. And instead of using these options, so again, these options, they are MWF labels. They will get generated as being a text, just a text in your elevation view. It's not a smart tag. And if you do want to use Revit smart tags, you have to make sure that you're not using the label panel member by method or the along center option. Because these two, they will also tag your main members of your panel. So if you are also using smart tags, you're gonna get duplicated labels. So that's why you have to choose if you want to use one or the other, okay? So if you are using smart tags, just make sure that you have these two unchecked. And we're gonna come here to view settings, and the smart tags option will be here at the bottom. So I'm gonna click on it, smart tags, and I will be in my smart tags manager. I'm just going to check off the options that I want to use. So again, it's going to be the structural column tags and also the structural framing tags. So these two. And again, from the list, you can choose which ones you want to use, what type you want to use for that specific smart tag. I only have one for this one, and the other one, I'm just going to leave it as boxed. And I'm going to click OK. And OK here. So just to show what views will get generated, we're gonna get a 3D view that is already preset, the top view, the bottom view, and also the framing cut list. And the framing cut list is, let me go inside the view. The framing cut list will be sorting out my information by using the BIMSF schedule label parameter. So I am using this one as an example. Make sure if you are using the BIMSF schedule label to also enable that option to run distribution, so you can actually get your information assigned to your members. So I'm gonna click OK and close. And I'm just going to select my panel here and run shop drawings. So again, my settings, my default settings will be the ones that I'm using. And now that my drawing got generated, let's go to take a look. And this is what it would look like if you don't change anything in the tags. So by default, it will be looking at the type name. So what you can do is double click in the tag. You will be in the tag family. And now what we want to do is change that information that we see here in the smart tag. So we want to change the parameter that it's looking at. So we're gonna come here to label, edit, And as you can see right now, it's looking at my type name parameter. So that's not really what we want right now. I'm gonna search it out. If you don't see it here in the list, you can always come to the add parameter option here at the bottom. And we're gonna select the BMSF schedule label. So as you can see here right now, it's not showing up because it's not looking at the correct parameters. So I'm not pointing to the correct parameters that I want to see. So I'm gonna come here to edit. And as you can see, you're gonna have two options on your end. You're either gonna get already the correct parameters, which are the wall parameters that we're gonna see. Right now what I have is the floor framing parameters. So I do want to change that to be able to see the BMSF schedule label parameter. So in that case, if you're not seeing here in the list, it's probably because you just have to point it out to the correct share parameter file. So I'm gonna come here to browse, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna search for my MWF share parameters. So usually it will be here by default. Once you install MWF, it will be in your installation folder in the MWF folder, families. And this is the guide that you need to search for, MWF parameters. So I'm gonna click open. And now you're gonna see here from the list that I will be able to find my BMSF schedule label. There you go. So it is here. Click OK. Here in the list, I'm gonna choose again my BMSF schedule label. And I'm going to add that to my list. So there it is. I'm just gonna remove the type name and add the BMSF schedule label to the parameter that the smart tag will be looking at. Click OK, and I'm gonna load it into my project again. I'm gonna say that I do want to override the parameters. And there you go. Now it is looking at the BMSF schedule label. As you can see, we did that for the structural column, so we do have to do the same for my structural framing tags. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna double click on it. We're gonna come here to click on the tag. We're gonna come here to label. Let's click on new, add new parameter. This time it is already looking at my share parameters, at my MWF share parameters. So I just have to search it out here on my list. There you go, BMSF schedule label. Click OK, OK. We're going to add it to the list here and remove the type name. And now we're gonna load it into my project again. Override the parameters, and there you go. Now both of them, they are looking at the BMSF schedule label. So as you can see here in your properties and the tag that you have here, the label that you get here in your member. And that is it. That is how you would use the smart tags. Again, just as a reminder, you can only add one smart tag per Revit family. So in case you are using smart tags, just make sure that you're going to be using them only for those families, for the MWF families, to label them in the shop drawings. If you do need them for anything else, then it's not going to work because you can only add one smart tag per family. That is it for today's tech tip. I hope you guys enjoyed it and see you guys next week.